So Ben, I've heard your music and it's insane. It's really like some intense guitar playing.
Thank you.
And I heard that you've literally broken your wrist and have a screw put in there, and I can't imagine trying to play that stuff with a wrist like this.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where it was this tiny little bone that could have, you know, really easy to break. It's a common fracture. It's called a snuff bone because it's right when people go like.
That sounds like a metal song.
Snuff bone.
Yeah.
It's very an instrumental bone for the function of picking, and it also is an area where there's not a lot of blood flow, so it's very difficult to heal. So I had the surgery, 2 weeks of like a cast, 2 weeks of just trying to get back, and then I had to play a show.
So tell me about those 2 weeks trying to get it back. So when you started, was it like, what's going on here? Am I back at zero on my right hand?
Yeah, it's crazy because your left hand feels like normal.
Right.
But my right hand, it brought me right back to when I was a kid and I was trying to learn how to play guitar, and it was horrifying.
So what was happening like when you're trying to develop your accuracy? Were you thinking like, am I going to be able to do this or not? Or you saw that you could do it, but you needed to work on it? How was that?
Well, what I saw right away was that it wasn't as much about pain as it was about fatigue. So, you know, right away I was able to play. I'm like, oh, this doesn't really hurt that bad, but it felt sloppy. I was hitting other strings. I got tired really quickly. And so what I did is, it was kind of like one of those things where when you're normally doing exercise and stuff like that, if you're using a weight or the typical things, you're kind of just using the whole wrist. But with guitar playing, I had to get really specific kind of areas to be strong again. So what I did is I took a hammer and I put a weight on the end of it, and I walked around playing guitar, holding, like pretending I was playing guitar. So holding my hand the way I hold it with this weight as if it was strumming. For 2 weeks, I just played guitar with a hammer, with a weight on the end of it, and that really sped the process up. And it was one of those things where it was like, the jumps were really quickly. So it wasn't like I was square one and I had to relearn. It was like, I just got to get that muscle memory back, and I had to get certain things working again. So I'm almost back. You know, I'm playing shows, but it's not 100%. But
did you notice that from doing that, you developed some new things that you would have normally not developed had this not happened?
I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Because sometimes, like when you have a disadvantage, you have to adjust to deal with that, and from doing that, you find these new things.
Well, yeah. Have you ever had an injury that has stopped you from playing for a time?
Oh, yeah. When I first joined Megadeth, they told me I'd never play guitar again.
What happened?
My all these tendons were just totally dead. So the doctor says, you got to stop playing guitar, or so you're going to lose your arm. I was just about to record my guitars on the record. I said, I don't care. I'm recording. He said, well, I know you're going to disregard my advice, so what you should do is only play when it's absolutely necessary. Don't do any extra don't practice, don't do any more takes than necessary.
Oh my God.
Play only when the red light's on and get out of there as quick as possible. Luckily, there wasn't too many people in the studio when I was recording, but I didn't want anybody to know there was anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because I just joined the band, we were recording a record, I was about to go on tour, and the doctor says, you'll never play guitar again.
Oh my God.
So I, you know, I did the best I could in as least playing as possible.
Well, yeah.
And then I rested after the recording, went on tour, and did therapy on my arm.
And it came
back.
back.
Got better,
Yeah, I don't think Dave Mustaine would have liked that very much if you were like, guess what?
Guess what? I can't play.
I can't really practice and play too much, you know. But how did that affect? Did that change the way you hold your pick or anything? Because you have kind of a really unique way of holding your pick and picking. And
yeah, I mean, I'm the one who looks like I have a broken wrist.
Yeah, there's something weird going on there.
I'll show you what it is. I play with my right hand is like this, so as not to mute the strings, because I don't like the sound of muted solos, like the typical. I like to hear the notes come out. It just happens naturally to keep my fingers and my hand as far away from the strings as possible. It's like that. So like if you're playing a pattern, if you're playing like a pattern, or if you're playing anything that repeats like that, it kind of really looks as funny as it could possibly look. But that's the only way you can get the clarity that I like to get.
Yeah, I do everything alternate picking. I'm very aggressive. Everything is alternate. Like, I kind of like play as if I'm always just attacking. You know?
I like that, yeah.
And you do this, like, I guess what many people would call alternative picking. And I always found that I wished I could do that better because it sounds so sweet and so smooth. And that's kind of like, you typically, am I wrong, try to play like that when you can, always.
I tend to like completely disregard anything that has a name to it. There's so many names, I have no idea, names of modes, names of picking styles.
Yeah, I don't know that stuff
hybrid
either.
this, legato that, I don't know what it is.
I think I might have heard it. Is it Frankenbali who's kind of really famous for that kind of like sweet picking?
I don't follow all those things. I really don't know it. If I have a, like, say, for example, like you tell me, I mean, I could...
You're kind of raking. Whatever you're doing is working. Sounds awesome.
I mean, it's never really the same thing.
But you didn't practice
twice.
like that
no.
stuff.
And oddly enough, I never really practiced as much as I did playing live and jamming with people.
Yeah. What kind of things throughout your history of playing guitar do you feel elevated your playing the most? Obviously
Definitely
playing with other people. And
just only the experiences, you know. I was maybe 16 or 17 in my first band, and we recorded and we did tons of gigs, and just doing that at an early age, I mean, there's nothing better than that. And then every project you do, every band you join, every recording, every tour,
you pick something up.
You get experiences, and even things that are non-musical oriented are really where the experiences and the heart comes into your music. So your life experiences really add up to more beauty in your music than your practice time or your musical experience.
I always love this quote, and I'll probably say it wrong, but I think David Lee Roth said something like, it takes 3 years to write a song, and then like the last 20 minutes just to get it down. 3 years of
that
just experience and just touring and going to movies and reading books and getting in relationships and all these things. And
it's so true.
And that's something that I always felt was so true.
So true, yeah. We look like two, if you look at our names, it doesn't look like it's guitar players at the law firm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're the very few in the business that are not lawyers.
You probably know the same thing. Outside of America, where people aren't used to American names, they don't know what our names sound like. So in Japan, a lot of times people ask me, is your name your stage name or is it your real name?
And you're like, trust me.
I'm like, if I was going for a stage name, I would go for a cool rock name.
So you have a new signature guitar coming out soon, right? And I know you have a prototype of that guitar here.
Yes.
Can we check it out?
Sure. This is my new PRS Marty Friedman model guitar. This is the only one in existence right now. It's the prototype. And it's a real simple guitar, man. I don't like things too fancy.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's something I feel like everybody could
check it out.
Could. Oh, thank you. It's got a nice weight to it.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I love the way it sits, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's big and heavy, but it doesn't fall. It's got a nice, it sits really nice.
It's got some substance to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
The only thing I did was I had it a little bit farther away from the strings where...
For your hand.
Because like I don't like it when it gets in the way because I'm usually hitting so hard, probably like you do.
Yeah, my guitar has a similar thing going on for the very
I don't know why they put the volume knobs right here.
I don't know why. Why does it take guitar players who actually play tour to figure out that's not a good idea?
Because what happens is you're jamming your hand like this all over the place, and you realize you're playing this ultimate metal, but your guitar's on about 3, so
and
you
you're like, how did that
quiet.
happen?
So you have a signature model yourself.
I do. I wish I had it here, but it's an ESP guitar, and it just came out at NAMM this year.
Oh, really?
And I know you were there as well. People were a little surprised by it because it doesn't look very metal, and we play pretty aggressive music. But it's a semi-hollow body, but it's neck through. It's got a longer scale, unlike some of those semi-hollow bodies that are more like a Gibson scale. It's got like a longer scale, so you can shred and get high, but it still has the look of kind of like an eclectic rock guitar. You can play it with jazz. It's got all kinds of different things, and I think one of the things that's most unique about it is it also has this new bridge called an Evertune. Have you heard of this thing?
No.
It's unbelievable invention. What it is every string in the bridge is spring-loaded, and you can tune the guitar down on the bridge, and what it does is it sets the tension. Once you tune the string, it remembers the tension of that string. So as the tension changes, it adjusts automatically. So, I mean, all you gotta do is string the thing up and set it. You can turn the tuning pegs, and the tension's changing, and it adjusts. You can have brand new strings on it without stretching them out. As you're playing, it's adjusting. It stays in tune. This guitar has it already built in, and I think honestly the combination of metal and wood and the hollow body creates a really unique tone. So I'm really happy with it.
Wow, I'd love to try one out.
Yeah, I'll trade you guitar for guitar.
Absolutely. Fair enough.
Go. So what's next? I know you told me you got an album coming
Yes.
out, but when is it actually coming out?
I have an album coming out. It's called Inferno. It's coming out in the spring worldwide, and it is by far the most intense album I've ever done in every way.
Oof.
So that's all I can really say about it.
That gives me a tingle. I'm excited. I got a tingle.
So I'm sure you've got something coming out too.
Yes, we recently released a record, One of Us is a Killer, and we're touring on that right now. So we're getting ready to go to Australia, and we're going to be doing a U.S. headliner in the spring as well. And we're going to put out a kind of like an EP, just kind of a self-release EP just for that tour, so fans can only get it if they go on that tour.
Oh.
So we're kind of excited about that. So
That's interesting.
I'm working on that now.
Very modern.
Thanks, man. It was really great to meet you.
Yeah, my
As I
pleasure.
said,
It's been good fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you play a little more for us, maybe?
Sure, yeah.
Play us out.
Play us out, as they say in TV.
Yeah.